The San Francisco Giants have made the biggest, or arguably the biggest signing of the offseason, the biggest signing of a player moving teams. The San Francisco Giants have agreed to a 13-year deal worth $350 million for shortstop Carlos Correa. Massive deal. Let's get straight into it. You're watching Bleacher Brawls. My name is Derrik. Carlos Correa, great player, great player. This will take him up until he's 41, I think, or through his age 41 season. It's just like the Bogaerts deal through his age 41 season. I think the Trey Turner deal too is through his age 41 season. The teams are going long term with these shortstops. I think Correa is the best player out of all the shortstops, and considering that he got less AAV than Trey Turner and not that much more than Bogaerts, you compare this deal to like the Corey Seager deal. Like, this is a steal. Like Corey Seager, 10 years, what was it? 10 years, 325. And this is 13,350. I mean, again, 3 extra years of Correa for what, 25 million extra overall. That's great. I know the Seager deal, the Corey Seager deal was last offseason, not this offseason. This offseason's been more about years. And guys getting that long term. But holy smokes. Yeah, it's a massive deal. Just shy of 27 million a year. No opt-outs, a full no trade clause. It's a crazy deal. I mean, we all know Correa. He's a great player, good leader in the clubhouse, all that stuff. But I think the biggest thing about this is the Giants now have that position player to build around, to be the face of their franchise. You look at the San Francisco Giants, and yeah, you get Logan Webb as your ace. They did have Rodon last year, but it's a short-term deal. And like they brought in Ross Stripling and Sean Manaea in the last, 24 to 30 hours or so. But this is the big one, right? Does it take them out of the Rodon sweepstakes? Maybe it does. But they've got that face of the franchise long-term locked in at the premium position of shortstop. And they're going to build around him now. Now they have a player to build around. That's why they wanted Aaron Judge, because they could go, we have Aaron Judge, we can build around him. They're going to look at Carlos Correa and say, hey, we have Carlos Correa, we're going to build around him. He is the main building block that the San Francisco Giants now will have to build a team around. Now, their top prospect, Marco Luciano, is also a shortstop. That's not something to worry about right now. He might start next year in Double-A, but he could also start next year in High-A as well. So that's not something they're worried about anyways. Plus, also, too, long-term, Correa can just move to third long-term eventually at some point. Or maybe Luciano becomes trade bait for something to get another good player. I don't know. But there's ways to work around it, but it's not even a worry. I don't think that's on the Giants' mind at all. What's on their mind is they just got one of the best players in baseball, one of the best shortstops in baseball. It's the biggest contract for a shortstop ever, I think. It tops the Lindor deal. I can't think of another one that's for a shortstop that's bigger. Massive deal. It's interesting. We know the Giants want to spend money. They wanted to get Judge. They didn't get Judge. They did get Mitch Haniger earlier in the offseason. And then they got Manaea, hoping for a bounce back year for him. They got Ross Stripling, hoping he can continue what he was doing in Toronto last year. They're building a solid team. The only question this brings to me is, what do you do with Brandon Crawford, right? That's the question that this really brings to me. Only 1 year left on his deal, but he's a Giants legend. Does he stick there? Do you just like trade him? Do you sit him on the bench? What are you gonna do? Because he's also solid defensive as well. Does he slide to second base for his last year there? I don't know. That one is a very interesting one. But overall, I like this deal much more than the Xander Bogaerts deal. Bogaerts 11 years, 280, Correa 13 years, 350. AAV wise, they're about $1 million off. So they're not that far off. Considering that, I'd take Correa all day. Also, Correa is younger as of now. Now that back end, just like the Bogaerts deal, just like the Trey Turner deal, could be a little worrisome. But it's going to be the same for all three of those deals. So I don't think it's actually that. It's like it's comparable between the three. Actually, the one who's probably the worst off might be Trey Turner if his legs start to go. He starts to lose some of that speed, or if he gets a leg injury and loses speed. I think he might kind of have a sharper decline than the others. But it is interesting, right? A 13-year deal. massive contract. But can you fault the San Francisco Giants? You see they tried to offer, I'm guessing they probably offered Judge around that 9 years, 360 that they got from the Yankees. So they kind of had the money there to spend, and they went out and got a guy in Carlos Correa to build their franchise around. He's going to be that face of the franchise. And you know what? Good for Carlos Correa. Good job on Scott Boras. Supposedly they're supposed to have like a long-term deal set last year, and it kind of fell through, supposedly. Takes $35 million from the Twins last year, opts out, and now gets $350 million overall, 14 years, $385 million, including last year's deal with the Twins. That's a great deal for Carlos Correa. And yeah, I think the Giants will like him. My only worry with Correa there is it's not a hitter-friendly ballpark at all. So there might be some adjustments there, but could also be a double-friendly ballpark too if you can find the gaps there too. And also too, the hitters have actually been doing better since they kind of changed center field. I think they changed the batter's eye a little bit, so maybe there's something to that, but that hasn't been in place long enough to really know. But yeah, it's interesting. New ballpark though. We'll see how it affects him. But all in all, the Giants have got their franchise cornerstone. They can build around them, and the NL West is going to be a very interesting division with the Dodgers obviously trying to get under the luxury tax, the Padres going all in, now the Giants getting a franchise cornerstone in Correa, and then the Diamondbacks with their young talent, and who knows what they could do. They have a good mix of young talent and some veterans that are solid players as well, so they could be an interesting team as well. Maybe not in 2023, but 2024, 2025, that Diamondbacks team's going to get good. Then you just have the Rockies, who no one knows what they're doing. So, yeah. But all in all, this deal for Correa and the Giants, I like it. It feels like a lot, but like I said, I think you compare it to the Corey Seager deal, a 10 years, 325. It feels like a steal. So overall, I think it's a fine deal, and I think Correa will have a good rest of his career in San Francisco. I think he'll have a very fruitful end of his career as well in this kind of second half almost of his career. Well, more than second half. He might not even hit the halfway mark, but you get what I'm saying. I think it's a good signing for both sides. But I think that's a great place to wrap it up. Let us know in the comments your thoughts on this signing. Check in the description, all the Bleacher Brawls links, the Bleacher Brawls website, podcast, Instagram, and Twitter. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell to get notified whenever we post. Also, the Crew's Twitter is also in the description, so check those out as well. So yeah, thanks for tuning in to Bleacher Brawls. My name is Derek, and I'll see you next time.